Today I'm playing Burning Banners by Compass Games. I'll be playing Campaign 3, The Great Goblin Raid. Double-fisted solo. Goblin entry hexes are right here, and their objective is to capture 2 Fjordland settlements. The closest 2 are these 2 right here. They have a long way to go and a short time to get there. 6 turns. In the first year it begins in the summer, and it ends in spring of the 3rd year. Now both sides can build starting armies that are placed before the game begins. But unless you need to protect something or secure it right away, there's no reason to spend your money any time sooner. It will take the goblins some time to reach all the way down here, so Fjordland won't be building anything right away. The goblins themselves, being the invaders, will build the units as they use them. Each army does begin with a hero, and the hero must be placed as part of the at-start builds before the game begins. The Fjordland hero is Safi. Her full name is Safi Sigmundsdottir. Only just beginning her studies as a custodian, Safi already ranks among the greatest mages of Kalar. Her power is a song of rebirth. Friendly units within 2 hexes of Safi gain regenerate this turn. That's once per turn she can do that. That is actually really cool, and it's an interesting thing to note about the heroes in Burning Banners. They tend not to have combat as their primary ability. They have varied and very flavorful abilities. I'll have her begin in Soonhammer. The goblins begin with Siskar. The back of his card says Siskar. It can't really be called music. And he is Kark's Troubadour. Once per turn, you can re-roll a target die 6. The other advantage that heroes have is they're all mages. They can cast spells. I will place them here with the intention of bringing an army over here to sack Gorpin. Then I can move down and threaten Nordholm, or even try and pillage the Frozen Tomb. The first phase of the turn is the income phase. Critical with the goblins, they don't receive income. They have to sack cities to get their income. For the goblins, in the income phase of each turn, they have to pay 1 gold per settlement they've captured. If they can't pay it, they lose a settlement. If they have no captured settlements, they lose the game. You see the tension that this creates. They'll begin by spending 5 gold on a mountain troll, a hill troll. Hill trolls can move 3. 1, 2, 3. They're adjacent to Gilpin, and they will attack. Gilpin defends with 1 light die because it's a garrison, and 2 light die because it's behind a major river. The goblins attack with 2 heavy die and 1 light die. The defenders get 1 hit. The attackers get 1 hit, and they rolled an 8, so that might be a critical. No, it's not. And the tie ends combat. The goblins spend another 5 to buy some hobgoblins and a hero. The hero is Old Weasel Eyes. There's Old Weasel Eyes. Back of his card says Weasel Eyes. Goblins prey on the weak and the helpless. He knows where they hide. His special power is called the Weak. Weasel Eyes stack wins draws in combat, which is if each side has 0 hits. There's a difference between draws and ties. Ties is when you get the same number of hits. Draws are when nobody gets a hit. If you have a tie and one of the armies has ranged weapons, they win. They inflict the damage on the opponent, and that's how that's resolved. But if nobody gets any hits, and you have Weasel Eyes, they'll do 1 hit and win the combat. They'll start in the same hex and go 1, 2, and attack the Heinberg. Now I just noticed the Heinberg is a fortress. So I'm going to back this up, because I'm playing solo, I can do this. That didn't happen yet. First I spent 3 gold and bought a siege engine. I moved the siege engine up and park it next to the Heinberg. Then I bought Weasel Eyes up with his hobgoblin buddies. You hit on 5s and 6s. A fort subtracts once you hit on 6s. If you're supported by a catapult, or should I say a siege engine, that subtracts once. You're back to 5 or 6. It cancels out the fortification. Other than that, they just get 1 die for the garrison. Hobgoblins get a heavy die and 2 light die. The defenders, nada. The attackers, 1 hit, 2 hits, and it's another 8. It's a critical. The critical's a hit, so they did 3 hits. They only needed 1. They have captured the Heinberg. When goblins capture a settlement, they get 3 gold. Now they had to occupy it. Since they're occupying it, they can't build any more units in here. If they weren't occupying it and they controlled it, they could build a unit here and not have to start back here. For the next build, they're going to spend 8 by a mountain troll, which is huge, which means it destroys things when it enters them. And they bought a hero. This time it's Turku. Turku must be the pride of Finland. The description says Turku, he begins with a fireball, followed by a fireball. His power is pyromania. Once per turn, he can strike the adjacent target, unit, monster, or garrison with a light die. Turku will start here. 1, 2. It only costs 1 to enter a mountain for Goblin. But 2 gets all he needs. He gets to the Labyrinth of Evil. And he is not afraid. He's gonna sack that puppy. What is guarding the Labyrinth of Evil? Oh my god. It's a colossal worm. Apparently, Shai Hulud dwells in the mountain. What kind of mod dib fresh hell is this? Alright, when you're sacking a lair, you don't do any terrain things or anything. It's just your basic unit on their basic unit. Okay, hitting on 5s. 3 heavy dice, 3 heavy dice, plus his 1 light die. So here we go. We've got 2 hits, 2 hits. They've got 1 hit, nothing. The worm is killed. Now, a cool thing about that powerful worm is it's worth 6 gold. So we add 6 gold to the goblin wealth, and they gain a treasure. Now, the way treasure works is you've got this treasure, but you have to research it before you can use it. So it's just sitting down here on a table in front of the goblin player. And I'll have to wait to the research phase, which is after the activation phase. Now, you can't enter a lair. So he could have gone 3. So I'm going to say they went 1, 2, 3 and got to here. I forgive myself a lot of things. I forget to do things. When you're trying to play a game solo, handle both sides, and the fact that you're filming, it can get a little overwhelming. I forget things. I step up things. And by the way, if you see me doing something wrong, by all means, correct me. Correct me in the comments below. We're all learning this game. The next hero I buy, because heroes are cool to have, is Finger Cutter. About Finger Cutter, it says he uses every piece of the kill to patch together his comrades, except the fingers. Those he keeps for himself. Nice. And they call him Kark's Tailor. Kark is the big goblin leader. They call him Kark's Tailor. That's his special power. While stacked with a fragile army, that's an army that can only take 1 hit. Finger Cutter's stack ignores 1 hit during combat, including strikes. And strikes can only do 1 hit, so it makes him immune to strikes. That's cool. Since he has that cool ability, I'm going to put him with Goblin Warriors. Goblin Warriors have a little shade on the side by the 4 there, and on the back there's nothing. It's all faded. They only take 1 hit. But Finger Cutter allows them to ignore a hit. And I'm buying them because they move 4. So we'll put him here and move him 4. Now, the cool thing about this map is the hexes are large. So rather than have smaller hexes and lots of movement points, you've got larger hexes and less movement points. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're adjacent to High Garden. I think they'll attack. High Garden gets a die for their garrison, and they get another die because they're wilderness. You'll see there's a little mountain thing there. That means it's wilderness. Again, remember, it's 2 to move through these hexes in the mountains, except goblins can move through easily. They only pay 1. So here are the 2 defensive die, and the goblins get 2 light die, as they're called, as well. 2 6s for the goblins, 1 6 for the defenders. That's a pretty impressive. Wow, 3 6s and 4 6-sided dice. Anyway, puts the goblins 1 ahead. That's all they need. They control another settlement. That gains them 3 gold. So with that, they're going to buy the last hill trolls for 5, another hero for 2 more, 7 gold. They're going to place it there. And there's the new hero, Iron Skull. On the back it says Iron Skull. The sneaks mocked his petty armor once. His ability is his Dead Skull's Helm. When Iron Skull's attacked with a goblin elite army, you gain a light die. So I'm going to spend 2 more gold before I forget to do this. And there's going to be an elite army going to start out right where that army is after it moves. This army can move 3. 1, 2, 3, and it's on a road, so next turn it will hit Bergerac. Then this one I just bought, 1, 2, 3. Now I have 7 gold left. I'm going to throw 5 of them in here and turn it into a 5, so I can quickly see what I have. And that ends the Goblin's very successful activation phase. Now we come to the arcane study phase. Oh, another thing I should be doing, I'll do it right now. When I finish each unit's activation, they should be turned. Now they're all finished. And now it's Fjordland's turn. Now Fjordland doesn't need to attack. It's getting attacked. It needs to defend. Fjordland has powerful and expensive units. To avoid making change, I'm going to buy all 3 ranger units, which cost me a total of 12 gold. 1 ranger unit is starting in North Fjordland. Rangers can move through woods as though they were clear terrain. 1, 2, 3. Oh, in the beginning of their turn, I'm getting ahead of myself before I started writing the activation phase. Beginning of their turn is the income step, and they get 8 income. Let's buy a hero for these rangers. This is a friendly settlement. They've now taken control of it. That raises their income by 1. That's in the income phase. Next turn it'll come in. Their hero is Freya. Her card says Freya. When all else fails, she is there. Her power is Wings of Valor. When a Fjordland hero is eliminated within 4 hexes of Freya, move it to a hex adjacent to Freya instead. She can do that once per turn. Well, guess what? I'm going to place her here and put her back here. And she's within 4 of these 3 settlements. So if the unit defending those settlements is killed, it reappears next to Freya. At least 1 a turn will do that. Now we've got rangers in all the settlements. We're going to buy another hero. This time it's Astrid Laufgrain. She protects Hearth and Home. Her power is Good as Fury. She gains a heavy die if stacked with the Freeholder army. So we'll buy a Freeholder army. Those only cost 2 gold. We're going to move these rangers into the Pine Girth and put Astrid in Belgrano with some Freeholder. Now they defend with 2 plus her heavy die. 2 light die and a heavy die. We're going to buy another hero. Detecting a theme here, place Carl with these rangers. Of Carl Bonderson, it says he is the eldest. Guess I should have done this. There's Carl. Carl Bonderson. He's the eldest of the Skalds. His songs recalling ancient victories. His power is a song of bravery. Carl gains a light die. Nice. And remember, I have this hero here that I started with, and I have 6 gold left. 6 gold will allow me to buy some berserkers. Now, at sea from a port, the Fjordlanders can move 8 hexes. Let's get some, and they can do it in any part of their movement turn as a free action. So this gets them all the way to Nordholm, and they gain a control marker. Now, I wish I had some money left because I'd like to move them up into here, attack this lair, the frozen tomb, and build something else here, but I don't have that kind of money. Perhaps I can go up there and win that, and then I'll have that kind of money. Okay, I've sold myself. Because next turn, they can just walk in. So we better hope this works. Let's see what we can come up with here. What do we find in the lair? Kobolds. Well, this should be easy. They get 1 white die. We get 2 light die and 2 heavy die. Well, this could be cool. Alright, let's check and see if we've got some spells that could help here. I've got one to cast. I'm in Wilderness Hex, so I'm casting Guda's Favor, and I get to add the Fjordland army. Oh, and I gotta discard a spell. I'm gonna discard Teleport. I don't think that's critical at this point. I got a lot of movement I can do. The Fjordland army gains 1 light die, plus 2 die if it occupies the Wilderness Hex. So that's a total of 3 die. 3 dice. There's a lot of dice. Let's see how tough these kobolds are. Oh, they don't do anything to us. Do we do anything to them? 4 hits. And we should... Well, they're not technically finished. They didn't do anything. They moved there. They did. They did something. This has been sacked. It gets them 1 gold. Not a lot for taking out kobolds, I guess. And they get a treasure. I take it into hand. I control it. I own it. I don't know what it does yet. I read it, I know what it does, but I'll wait till I research it. But we're done with our turn now. We look at this thing, it's a sigil, so we get full research powers. So we can look at the treasure. The treasure is an iron golem. I can use it in battle magic. I gain a heavy die when attacking a fortified or magically fortified settlement. The golem's dice suffers no penalty. Whoa, that's cool. Because I still think it matters, I'm going to give the iron golem to Safi Sigmund's daughter, because she was, there. And that was researching the thing. Now we can do a blessing. Quest of the Western Isles. We can discard 2 spells to gain a treasure. That's really cool. Now you can only cast in the action phase, and this is the research phase. I have to hold this until the next action phase. I like both the spells I have. I'm researching spells as well. I refill my hand to the full strength. I'm not going to I can discard one. I'm not going to do that. I like both those spells. Alright, I've got spells. I've researched. I'm done. And that ends turn 1. We go to autumn. It's autumn. I throw the autumn churn thing here. When a churn comes up, you can only do 1 research, 1 thing. So here we go. We mix these up. Lay them out again for next turn. Everything's reset. And in the next video, we'll be ready to begin the autumn season.